and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the one and only, the human turret, one of the best ARs to ever do it. Give it up for the world champ himself, Sam LaRue, Octane. I am also joined by some of the best analysis in the game, the world champ, Christopher Duarte, Parasite. And then, of course, we got the one and only, the man of the hour, the executive producer, Mr. Benjay Nassim. Hope you guys are all having a great day. We are here live in COD Champs in the venue. The energy today has been unbelievable. We had a lot of amazing matches today, gentlemen, did we not?
We did.
Banger.
Some bangers, man. It just got done. The whole venue just cleared out. Now, guys, we will be doing shows here on YouTube the whole weekend. It will be a little bit shorter, so I do apologize if some of these shows are shorter. They already got security up here walking around. They're probably going to kick us out here soon, but you know, we still want to get these shows up for you guys and give you guys a recap of the day. So we're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get into the first series of the day and see what's going on here, man. We got the one and only New York Subliners going up against the Seattle Surge. This one ended in a 3-2 victory for the New York Subliners. We'll scroll down, take a look here at the stat sheet, and you can see Paco Hydra with a 1.37, 122 kills in the series, gentlemen. I think that's what, the kill record? Is that it?
Him and Abuza, yeah.
Him and Abuza both times.
Move your mic up, Duarte, so they can hear you.
The shit's limping.
Yeah, it's a little
yeah,
broken.
Abuza and Hydra both broke the kill record and tied each other for it in the same series, so that's actually pretty insane. But, I mean, yeah, New York came in. They played pretty good. But Seattle actually put up a fight, man. And I feel like even though they got outplayed and outslayed by New York, you know, they could have really won this series. So, I mean, good signs for them moving forward in the rest of the tournament. I mean, it's kind of a heartbreaker for them not to get that upset. But, I mean, still good going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, what do you think about the series? New York versus Seattle today.
Yeah, if you scroll up, Tom, and show the map results here, I think Seattle had an opportunity to win that first map. New York had an opportunity to win the second map, so I guess it kind of cancel each other out. The invasion was interesting, but I agree. I think there were opportunities for Seattle to maybe put the pressure on this, but I think the moment got to him in that last map. Paco was going off, and you know, I think it's a classic winners round one series of champs, bro. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be close. People kind of been practicing. They know what the map set's going to be, and if you're a good team, you're going to have to grind out, sweat it out, and get to the next day.
Yeah, Sam, what did you think about the series? We had a grueler today with New York and Seattle.
Kind of just everything that Ben just said. He kind of summed up the whole series map by map. I think the only thing that we didn't really touch on was just the actual individual performances from Caesar and 04. I think it seems like New York is continuing how they played Major 4. Like, everyone is kind of farming, and then Caesar's kind of taking a back foot in the slaying department, more objective-oriented. And on the other side, we've been touting 04 for a search and destroy, but his respawn's been pretty lackluster. That's not like a new thing. So yeah. I think that Abuza throwing up a literal generational performance for his first ever series of champs is impressive, but that's really the only thing that we didn't talk about so far.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it with Abuza all year. It's like, he's finally on an AR, and he's been flourishing this whole time. And you even heard Rambo say in the interview, I mean, that guy can play, man. That guy is insane. And he has really showed out and made a name for himself. I mean, he has been unbelievable for these guys. And on the other side, we talk a lot about Paco, but I want to talk about Kismet, bro. The Bulldog has been crazy.
They're barking.
He's been barking, Ben. He's been barking.
His game 5 today was something
unreal.
Out of a fucking movie.
His game 5 was a movie. I think I remember the 2-piece grenade he had.
Yeah.
He went 15-3. I mean, look at these map 5 stats here from Kismet. 15-3 here. Nobody on his team had more than 6. The next closest was 6 from Paco, 3 from Sib, and 4 from Sky. So it was just a takeover here from the Bulldog. I mean, I could probably take a look here at the grenade kill real quick from the Bulldog. I mean, this was just the pre-nades coming in, man. Yeah, that actually was
Seems like he's had a complete turnaround because his land stats prior to like the last tournament, the major, were pretty bad. But specifically in search, his S&D on land had an insane fall off since last year, and then ever since then he's been really good on land, right? He had that turnaround at Major 4, and then obviously here he starts off his champs, his first series with a bang. So I mean, the Kismet might be fully back.
Yeah.
And if Kismet keeps playing well and Hydra keeps playing at the level that we expect them to, we expect these guys to make a deep run, and who knows, man? Maybe these guys go back to back.
Yeah, I mean, we'll obviously talk about Seattle and their matchup later in the show, but anything else that you guys wanted to kind of touch on with this series? I felt like the stat sheet, to be honest with you, tells the whole picture. Paco and Kismet are an insane duo right now. They're getting back on their bullshit, and it's scary. It's definitely scary for the rest of the teams. Sam, I think you had New York winning the whole event.
I do have them back-to-back.
Oh, move your mic a little bit, Sam. What'd you say? You had them back to back?
I have him back to back. Correct.
Do you, Sam? You
I
got them
do.
back to back.
That would be
Back to
insane.
back. I mean, I think Kyler's got to step up for the Seattle team. I think it's been a running story
Yeah, I
this
agree.
year, the year before, the year before that, the year before that. That look, he's a great player online when he gets to land, and sometimes those performances aren't consistent. They need the aggressive sub player. I know a lot of them kind of really struggled today. He's got to step up when they get to losers bracket now. They're going to be out of here tomorrow, early in the
I
afternoon.
don't know. I don't really see Kyler being able to like hit that like 1.1s, 1.2s with a sub. I mean, he brings that like 1.0 with like high engagements, high damage, and stuff like that. And I feel like he did have it at least this series. I feel like what's his name? 04 and Brezzy really didn't play too good.
Yeah, but
their
Kyler's also
responses were not
scamming on
great.
the invasion control when they
Well, yeah,
were
I mean
fucking...
that's situational, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like from a stat perspective and like consistency performance. I mean, I think he actually
Him
because
and
I
Abuza played well
I
in
said
the
it before.
response.
I said it before the series started earlier today. I'm like, if the series goes the distance, Hook needs to play
Kyler
good.
has to play well,
and
yeah.
he played pretty damn good considering he's been hovering around 0.6s and 0.5s.
Yeah. I mean,
and
04 and
having these-
Brezzy were neg 10. in
He's
both
been
res-
having these
and
weird stinker
three
series on
respawns.
land, so like
Yeah.
you know, Kyler was serviceable this series.
I agree with that take. I mean, listen, I don't 04 Brezzy, you know, kind of first champ series getting in the mix. I think they'll play better tomorrow, but I think they put a fight. It got close to a couple of gunfights. They went their way. They may have actually won the series. And yeah, it was a fun one to start the day.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I think Kyler, like, sometimes it just seems like he loses his head. Actually, not sometimes, all the time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just how he plays. And I think when you play with that play style, like, you live and die by it. Like, if Kyler's getting his kills and he's completely frying, which, let's be honest, at this level, consistently doing that is nearly impossible. Like, you got to
Yeah.
play with your head. You got to make smart plays. And sometimes it just seems like they try and do too much on the map, especially Kyler. So that's something they're gonna have to work on, especially getting fallen down into the losers bracket. They don't have any time here to lose anymore. This is it, right? They're in the losers bracket. They got to clutch up now. So if you're Seattle, you go back to the drawing board. If you're New York, you're feeling pretty confident. They're gonna go on to play FaZe. We'll talk about that one later, but let's move on to the next series.
Which is the series
of the day.
It's the one you just talking about, bro.
Huh?
Bro, show the series you're about to talk about. You said we're going to talk about it later in the show. We're talking about it right now.
No, I'm talking about the matchup.
Yeah, you said FaZe.
We're tweaking.
Okay, we're
It's
tweaking.
okay.
We're tweaking. It's all
I
right.
was talking about New
What did I
York
miss?
versus
tweaking.
FaZe. New
He's
York.
talking about round 2, Ben.
I'm
Okay.
talking about round two.
It's my bad. Lens in the chat. I get what you're saying now.
Jesus,
It's okay.
Pull it
It's-
together.
Lens in the chat.
All right, let's move on. Atlanta FaZe going up against Miami Heretics. Atlanta FaZe went up 3-1 here against Miami. You can see just Atlanta FaZe. You can see those maps. The first map was pretty close. Miami definitely was pushing FaZe to limits here in the map 1 Vista. Miami was able to bounce back here in the search and destroy. I think, FaZe, when it comes to S&Ds, still looking a little rocky at times, but Miami looking good there, but it was the respawns where FaZe was ultimately able to close it out. I know they were able to win a couple offenses in control. Atlanta FaZe, they lose their defenses, but something about those offenses, FaZe is just able to clutch up time and time again, and then we had a really close map number 4. Where Atlanta FaZe was able to close that one out. We'll scroll down, take a look. Oh, Jesus, fucking hit it, Benjay. Hit it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, that's a red carpet for the Miami Heretics. Everybody negative. On the other side, only person negative was Abizi, and he was only -1. He had a 1.19
They
from
got
Selim.
in this series, bro.
1.17 from
Yeah.
Simp, and then, of course, a 1.06 from Draz. Also, almost 20,000 damage from Draza. I mean, that's fantastic work from him. Benjay, why don't you start things off, brother? We had Atlanta FaZe going up against Miami. We got the MVP Simp here. What did you think, Ben? What did you think?
I mean, we just said it with the last series. Winners round 1 and champs can get very weird. Teams have 2 weeks to prepare for the matchup and try their hardest. This Miami team is much improved in S&D, and I think the Invasion S&D has been kind of a bread and butter map for them through this last stretch. So I'm not surprised they won that, but the respawns were close. I think Miami was shooting really straight today. I know they all have negative KDs, but I thought like they were winning some crazy gunfights throughout the
Not
series.
Real.
Yeah.
Real was getting hooped.
Real was getting a mixtape,
Yeah.
but everybody else on that team, I think especially Vickle had some good show outs. Same
Yeah.
with Lucky. I think it just came down to a couple gunfights on that evasion control. I think Miami got close in that comeback, but FaZe was finally able to get a P2 break. And that first map was a mixy back and forth one. So I don't think you'd be too sad if you're Miami with how you played. I think across all 4 maps they played well, and I think on another day this one would have gotten 5.
They actually looked good. I
They
thought Miami
looked
looked pretty
good.
good today, right?
Yeah.
They looked good.
It's just
I don't
how
think-
it is
I
sometimes.
think FaZe was playing really weird. Like they were actually
Yeah.
making a lot of mistakes. That didn't feel like they were playing their best game. But I will say that Miami played good. Again, just like Seattle, I feel like both of these teams have massively improved over the last couple of stages. And Miami looked good here. They could have won this series, even if FaZe wasn't playing their best. They had one of their teammates essentially spawn out and drop a .7 with like 3,000 less damage than the rest of his team. So even then, the hard points were all close. The control went to a final round, like with Real not actually shooting his gun. So good signs for them going forward, because I feel like having a close series against a team like FaZe, just like before with Seattle having that close series against New York, is going to do a lot for them with their confidence going into their losers round one. So can't be mad if you're Heretics.
Yeah.
Or Heretics fan.
Sam, what did you think of the series? FaZe get the dub today.
Yeah, it was super close. I mean, this was one Draza flank away from going Game 5.
Bro, that play was insane.
That was
Yeah.
insane.
That was a
play.
great play from Zach.
So I mean, this could have easily gone Game 5, and Miami's S&D is genuinely like top 3, top 2 in the league right now.
They've already beat FaZe
They've
in
been
the
playing
star this year.
They've been
so.
playing lights out, search and destroy. So I know it's another series. The last time Miami played on land, we said the same thing, that this is nothing to be super angry about. Granted, it is a loss, but they're playing these top 4 teams very, very close. It's just the respawn hump, and it will continue to be that.
Yeah.
Just the slaying potential of this roster compared to FaZe, Ultra, et cetera, is just not super great. So I think that's just where the problem with their team lies. But I don't know if we're going to talk about their series later or not. But against non-top 4 teams, I'd take Miami against pretty much anyone right now, to be honest with you.
They look good. I wanted that they play at a quick pace, and
Yeah.
their chemistry looks really good.
This is literally the
Bro,
reason
how
they just didn't go
insane
Game
is it
5.
that if number
Yeah.
2 just kept pushing through red instead of cutting through middle, he either catches Zach jumping down or he dies and gets the info for his teammates, so they turn and kill Zach.
Yeah,
rather than-
I also just think the route he takes is just such a good route. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see where he
Yeah.
comes off spawn, and then you see what he does after. So he's here now. He dies here. And then you'll see where he spawns up. He spawns on the right side of the map. A lot of people here will probably just hit chicken coop and just run through right.
Yeah.
Right, but instead, Draza, he cuts through mid, and then he ends up going into red here, and he pretty much cuts the map. He knows his teammates all spawn are going to hit the right side, but him making this play early just catches Miami off guard. Like, Miami gets all the kills. They're probably thinking they're all OEing chicken coop. They have no idea that Draza is here, and some people might be like, oh, they should pick up the pinch, but, I mean, that's going to be a hard play to read, and Draza definitely
How
took
are you going
advantage.
to read some guy running through middle of the top red? Like,
Yeah, it was a
assuming
good
they're all-
play.
yeah.
And then he won the gunfight after
Yeah,
he
it's
killed the
key.
first guy.
Killing a guy.
He
hallway.
won the gunfight afterwards, and I mean the 2-piece there from Zach wins him the map, and you can see
chirps come
there,
in.
yeah, the chirps come in from Atlanta
A
FaZe,
lot
and,
of chirps.
and they're letting them know for sure. But yeah, Atlanta FaZe end up getting the W here versus Miami. Ben, I know you've been very critical with Abizi. How do you think about his play so far?
I thought he played fine today. I mean, he had a real tough start to the series. He's kind of feast and famine on Invasion S&D. I thought first map he struggled, but I thought the control especially started to really pick it up. It was remarked on broadcast, and I agree. He's been kind of running in a lot of situations an AR in hand, it seems like, in a lot of 3 AR situations. And Chris is the one running a full-time sub. And I think it's always like you just got to kind of grind through that first series. And if he can play the way he played the last 2 maps tomorrow against New York, I think they'll be in a good spot to make winners finals.
Yeah. Guys, any other final thoughts with Atlanta FaZe or Miami? Got anything else that you want to say? I think both teams look pretty good, honestly, in that series. FaZe got the better of them. But, Sam, Chris, you good?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next series of the day. Man, this was the upset of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
There's gotta
Upset
be
of the
one.
day. Patrick Price fell to his knees
He's in
at the
shambles.
COD Champs parking lot.
We did a nub on for the series. Where the fuck is the nub?
I don't know where the nub is at, but
He's somewhere here in the city.
let's take a look here and see what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the LA Thieves with a 3-1 victory over Toronto Ultra. A massive upset here in winners round 1. The only map that Toronto was able to take was the S&D, which ended up being a 6-0 for Toronto. So not sure what happened with LA Thieves there in the search, but we'll take a look here at the stat sheet and take a look at LA Thieves. Everybody negative,
Barely
but Dan
negative, though.
Ghosting.
Barely negative.
Still, though, they're all negative, but Dan, and they go on to win the series 3-1. I just think it says a lot about this team and how they're not really playing for stats. They're playing for the dub here,
Yeah.
and they're playing aggressive COD, and they're getting gritty. Sam, we'll start with you. Obviously, you come from the LA Thieves side, Sam. These are your boys. These are your boys.
Yeah, they fucking are.
What do you think, Sam? What did you think of the series today? Big win today, Sam. Big win.
Shocking with the way they actually won the series. I thought it would be if they were going to win a NYSL because their search and destroyers looked very, very good, but they 3 respawned them. I think Toby had an absolute disaster class of a series today.
Yeah.
He was not shooting back very well. But I mean, I can't talk highly enough on Dan. Granted, He had a crazy series as well, but I also want to highlight Joe. I know he's -2, but I thought Joe played some phenomenal COD today. I think he probably had one of his better series, not even on the stat board or stat sheet, but just on the map, the plays he was making. I was definitely impressed with Joe today. But yeah, I'm shocked, bro. 3 respawning against Toronto was definitely not on my bingo card, for sure.
What'd you think, Chris?
Pretty much in the same boat. I mean, I thought this series was going to go like LAT take the S&D because I know that Toronto's S&D hasn't been the strongest this season. But, you know, it went the complete opposite way. They took 2 hard points and, yeah, Dan literally just had aura this series. Every single time they swapped to his POV, like even at that game-winning 2-piece he got on the invasion control, like everything that he was doing was picture perfect. He was absolutely slamming. But the rest of the team, I mean, they played well. It seemed like they were making good decisions as a team and playing really aggressive. And I just think, you know, for the Toronto side, Kleenex just was a non-factor in this series. He did not play well at all.
So what's going on with Thieves? I even heard Clay talking about it on the desk. I'm pretty sure these guys have kicked up a lot, like from scrims and stuff. I think a lot of people have been talking pretty highly about these guys. Like behind the scenes, they've been really working on their game. What do you think, Sam? You think Cap and Shane and just them coming together?
It might
you think
just
it helps
finally
a lot?
just be clicking, man. Because I mean, we've talked about it all year that they have been in very winning like extremely winnable situations going into map 4s, and they just never seem to close them.
Yeah.
But I mean, this series is what happens when they can actually ice a map 4 or map 3 with.
I
these
also
advantages.
think this might be too early to tell, but from like the last 2 events that we've watched, obviously this is pretty early, but Kremp I feel like has just played so much better. I feel like now he's still getting those like 0.8, 0.9s. You know, sometimes he'll go positive.
This one.
But huh?
He tried to drop the donut on this.
Yeah,
series
I mean
as
it's S&D, but I'm talking about like,
Crispy
from the
Kremp.
respawns and stuff like that. He's dropping like those 0.9s, those 0.8s. He's not having those like 0.6s where he's not shooting because we've seen a lot of SMGs this season. Some of them get pushed out of the league, and some of them are still in where they'll just have series where they have the mega sprints, don't shoot their gun at all, 0.6, like they have high deaths. But like Kremp is one of those players that he did have those series, and I feel like he's kind of gotten out of that trap, and he's playing a little bit. Yeah, he's playing definitely at a better pace, and it's suiting his team.
I think this is the full circle. So I've heard that Thieves have been good at scrims like all year. And I think it gets back to a point that you made months ago, Sam. Probably in scrims, they were a lot more calm. They're a little bit more focused. Yeah. And then getting these matches and getting too frantic. It's been this like whole year process to like
finally
do what you do in practice, do in matches. And, you know, listen, I tipped him because there's a series where I was joking before the 4th map. I'm like, bro, this is going to a 5th map. I've seen this story, telling this for Thieves. But they were down 100 points on Rio. And what do you know? Second rotation Rio clicks up. These guys make a comeback. And they close out Toronto. And I agree with you, Chris. Like, Toby did not play well today. Scrap had a couple of big moments. Jamie had a good map 1. But I want to give a lot of credit to Thieves today on their resilience in this series because they could have folded like old. And
I mean, we got to
Who knows
talk
what
about
happens in Game
Toronto,
5.
though. I'm always
Yeah,
down
that's
to
what I was
glaze
about to
LAT,
say. So
but-
I want to talk about Toronto. Obviously, these guys come out, they get upset. I don't even know where to even start with these guys.
They have a mental block against teams from Los Angeles, bro, apparently.
They have a
If
mental block.
What if they just lose to LAG tomorrow?
Bro, that would be
That would be the
insane.
mega
Nah,
LA
it would
mental
be bad.
block.
That would be crazy.
I think it was-
I would love to hear Pat's opinions. By the way, it is Pat's birthday today, so we should give a happy birthday. Hey, can we get a happy birthday for Pat in the comments and in the chat? That's why he wasn't able to be here today. I'm sure he was very shocked by this series. We look forward to getting his opinion on that one later through the weekend. He will be around. He will be around here for the weekend, so stay tuned for that. But happy birthday to you, Pat. But yeah, go ahead, Sam. What were you going to say?
I think it was just for this series specifically, not so much like their whole problem, but I think it was more on the individual side. We have not seen Toby have a series like this in a very, very long time, so I think that like having a constant with Scrap and Kleenex playing that well all the time, when one of them doesn't perform, it kind of throws everything off because we've been looking at Envoy and Insight to just like kind of pick up the slack for the majority of their series lately. And to have Toby not play super well is one thing. And the other is actually the Invasion Control. They've played high-rise control for like 12 straight series or something.
Yeah.
So they actually vetoed Karachi, and LAT picked Invasion. So I think that was a really good veto decision by them, just to try to throw them off guard a little bit. But for the overall problem, I genuinely don't even know where to look. I think it's just individual gameplay. It seems like they're just not really on the same page right now.
A lot of their bread and butters have chipped away. Like the controlled Karachi, like I'm not shocked they got vetoed because they got slammed by New York on it.
Yeah.
They lost at least twice, I think, at the last event. We talked about the Rio hardpoint. They finally let it in this series, and obviously they lose it here in a comeback fashion. We talked about their high-rise S&D all year. Like these guys have had, this is what happens. They've had some of their bread and butter chipped away. And when they're not playing well, they're going to lose some of the more mixier maps. And These are the better team today, and Toronto, once again, for back-to-back events, you have to make a run from losing round one.
It's just like
Crazy.
We don't see Toronto have 4 good performances in a series. I feel
Yeah.
like somebody.
I was just gonna say that they.
somebody somewhere is not playing well.
Yeah, like if Insight's turning up, like even the first map, Insight turned the fuck up. He had one of the best maps
Yeah.
of his life, but then Scrap got pooped on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't see that often. And the same thing happens with the subs. Like Envoy will fry it and Kleenex gets shit on, and vice versa. It's like
the Minnesota Rocker formula.
yeah, like exactly. Like it's like so hard, and I guess that goes to just not being on the same page. Like they're not on the same page, and they're not thinking about the game the same way, and you can see it in their gameplay. You can definitely see it. Even in their listenings, they sounded a little rocky. But anybody else have anything to say about Toronto Ultra? I mean, it's
got a
definitely
long
disappointing.
way
I'm
to
just
go.
confused.
They-
They got a long run. I'm confused too.
They had a quick play against an LAG team that played them on their best maps last event and beat them. So I assume Toronto's going to make quick work of LAG tomorrow. But, man, if they lose tomorrow, get top 8, Pat is never going to hear the fucking end of
And
it.
we
let
have
me tell
a
you.
we have a
No,
top
definitely
6.
not.
We have a top 6 or top 4 versus top 4 for minimum top 6. So,
Yeah, that's kind of going to be interesting.
If they beat LG, they play either FaZe or New York, so they got to regain real quick.
Yeah, completely agree. We'll see what happens with Toronto Ultra moving forward in the rest of Call of Duty champs. Obviously, huge congrats to LA Thieves. I think just for their confidence alone, that's such a big win. I mean, you come out the COD champs and you beat Toronto Ultra, winners round 1. Surely they're going to try and ride that confidence now into the rest of the weekend, right?
Yep.
Even just like with some of the players they have, I feel like they're so confident oriented. Like somebody like Kremp, right? Like if he's confident, he's winning all his fights.
Throwing
the way-
double birds on the fucking
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, right? Like the
Hey,
way-
Double birds
you just
look
made a good
crazy.
point. Like, bro, like we're gonna have like probably Thieves or someone be in top 4 at this event.
Potentially.
Not getting top 4, finishing top 4, back-to-back events.
Potentially.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. But good matchup there, and then we
This
get
one was
to
not good.
we get to the last and final series of the day.
I went to
Absolute
Best Buy during this series. That's how boring it
snoozer.
was.
The Best Buy challenge is crazy.
I went to fucking
Best
Best
Buy
Buy and
challenge.
came
Best Buy
back.
challenge is fucking
and I
crazy.
came
I'm not
back
gonna lie.
for
Absolute
series
fucking
is over.
snoozer.
Then we get to the last series of the day. We have Optic Texas going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. This one ended in a 3-0 for Optic Texas. Finally, they're able to win an S&D. I think if they would have lost that, they would have tied the
Tied.
S&D loss record.
They had 12 in a row at this point.
So Optic, they're saving themselves from that terrible record, and they were able to get the job done here today in the S&D. And then I think once they won the S&D, we all
was
kind of
over.
thought it was going to be a 3-0. We thought it was over. Before we scroll down, I do got to say Shotzi is the GOAT. That guy went fucking crazy
I
this
think
series.
it might be a
He
superstar. You know, you
went
gotta think.
bananas.
He's definitely a superstar. I think it's crazy
I
that
think
Pat
so
says
too.
otherwise. What's going on? Jesus fucking jump
Jesus
scared.
fucking-
Oh, Jesus fucking bottle. It's the executive producer hitting the wrong fucking
I hit
thing.
the wrong button now.
Holy
But
fuck.
scroll down, take a look at the they're all MVPs of the series. Oh no, we gotta pick our MVP, Shotzi. You don't even gotta think about it. Big Shotzi here. Good plays from Shotzi at a 1.3 in hardpoint, 2.17 in S&D, and a 1.26 in control. So Shotzi just letting him have it this series. At a 1.46 overall in the series is crazy. That is insane. And again,
AG's
it's
right
just
there.
and AG was right there with him. Listen, there's been a lot of people on AG's ass recently, man. Everybody's just watching this guy's every move, everything he does on a map. I just feel like people are so critical about everything that he's doing. And listen, he came out and he played great today. He did his thing. I definitely see that AG playing a little bit more aggressive now. I know a lot of people were critiquing kind of that slow play style, not getting that damage, right? Not getting in there, but he had the second most damage today, so people can't really say anything about that. But and then Shotzi, I just think the impact that he makes on the map, like kind of playing around him, it just kind of opens up so many different lanes for him. And Dashi and Kenny, they play good as well. They started off slow on a couple maps, but they had their
They
moments.
just did what they needed to do.
They did what
bro.
they needed to do, and they had their moments for sure. But Chris, we'll start with you on this one. You
These
went
are
with
my
Ben, what
boys. Listen, LAG,
Sam,
like,
these are your boys.
these are my
Chris,
boys,
What's
but
going
I
on
will
with
always
LAG?
tell them when they got pooped on. Listen, I mean, this is what happens when, you put up LAG against a top 4 team. More often than not, I mean, these guys have gotten cooked. Like, it is what it is. Optic, obviously, this isn't an Optic event, but this is an Optic event. Let's be real here. We're in Texas. This is the home crowd. The crowd showed up for Optic. Optic obviously went back to the drawing board after their goose egg performance at the last major. And I even talked to Damon, and Damon said that they've been playing a lot better, and they've been actually frying, when they were practicing. So I kind of expected Optic to bounce back at this tournament. And this is the result here. LAG, bad draw. They came. They ended up playing an Optic team that had everything to prove. coming to this tournament, and Shotzi and Pred played like it. Like they were up there screaming and yelling and talking shit, and even though it's LAG and they were kind of bullying at this point, like expect to see more of that, as the tournament progresses, because they're playing with everything on the line after that last major at this tournament.
Optic definitely looks like they're getting that energy from the crowd. I mean, you even heard AG say in the interview, but this venue is fucking loud.
Really loud.
I think it's because it's just everything's in the middle and just everybody's surrounding it. Just the way that it's set up. I mean, it roars and it rumbles in here.
It doesn't have a high ceiling. I think that's why they have acoustic panels also on the roof that I think help. But like, dude, during that first map, let me tell you, like, it's insane. I definitely think it helped carry them. And you saw for LAG, I just think at times they didn't meet the moment. There was a play I saw on Rio with Fame where he had an opportunity to pinch middle map.
Man.
Yeah,
And
the
at that point, I
Rio
was like,
P4 didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense.
That's going to keep them up tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered. I think they still would have lost the series anyway. But that was definitely the map 1 is important, man. It's where all the momentum comes
They
from.
got some confidence under their belt or something going into a search and destroy that they're particularly strong at. Like, I don't know. That Rio
they had some moto. Diamondcon got in a couple of like really nice sprees on that high rise, but then they just couldn't clutch up at the end. I just think this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Optic. First off, AG playing really good because he struggled as of late. Optic getting off that S&D fucking streak and getting a clean 3-0 and going into tomorrow.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have rather had Optic literally fry them first map instead of it being close, because the fashion that Optic won and how close it was, like the crowd rallied behind that comeback and like that win. So like it just demoralized them when they lost. Like they just hearing that crowd rumble, like they knew they had it in their hands and it just crumbled right in front of them and it just shook them up, bro. Like they stood no chance after that. Like, I don't know. I mean, a good series out of Optic.
I'm trying to think about the venues we play in this year. Like, the Boston venue is, like, decently loud. I don't think the Miami venue is that loud. And Toronto's venue is, like, they're decent people, but it's got a high ceiling. I don't think it's as loud. It's probably the loudest building the LG has played in. You got to remember these LG guys. I mean, DiamondCon, I'm trying to think. Is DiamondCon been with champs?
DiamondCon?
Yeah.
He had to have played at one chance, right? Or
I
no?
don't think so.
Really?
I think this is their first for everybody.
That's interesting. That's
he was
crazy.
on LAG, and then he was on New York, and then obviously he wasn't on New York, so that was it. That's all he's played.
It's just tough.
This
That's
is all
crazy.
their first champs except for Fame. Fame played at one champs.
Fame played at
Minnesota.
Played last year, right?
Yeah, he was on Minnesota, right? Yeah. Okay, so he played that one.
He played at one. Yeah, I just think LG just didn't meet the moment today, and we'll see if they bring the fire tomorrow, or again they'll be out early in a quick series against Toronto.
You guys think any of the rumors is affecting this team at all?
What?
Like that some of these guys are leaving and going to Minnesota?
No,
and,
I
don't
because
think so,
there's
no.
no point. Like,
They all understand that their team
It's chalk.
basically is chalk because their org, like they have no esports World Cup invite, like they declined
It goes the other way. I actually think playing with no pressure probably helps because they're coming to this event and they're like, bro, like we had a really good showing in Major 4, but this is our last ride. If we get top 8, you know what? We weren't able to qualify for champs, then we made the push. We got one good event placing, and we'll all move on to greater and bigger things. And if we make the run, we know what we did last event. Let's see if we can, show up on Sunday this time. But they're gonna have to upset Toronto again. We'll see. It's gonna be real tough.
Is Optic back, gentlemen? Are they back? Yes or no? What do you think?
I need more against non-LAG.
I think Thieves is
Make
gonna
a
be
definitive answer for that.
Thieves is gonna be a really interesting.
I think
test.
their standard is
Thanks.
beating top 4 teams, not beating LAG. So I will reserve judgment until I see them play.
Well, they're not going to play a top 4 team, ideally, probably until
Odan Ghost
tomorrow, Saturday, midday. So,
Odan Toasty, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dan Toast. He's insane. Let's move on to the matches tomorrow. We got some bangers tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. So, Ben, do we have winners and losers tomorrow? Is that how
we
it's
have
working?
losers round 1 and winners round 2 tomorrow.
They don't usually do that, right? They don't usually do
Yeah,
it
but
like
we
that.
gotta pump
gotta
through
keep
it. We
it
only get
going.
one match on Sunday, so we gotta pump through the shit.
5 match days.
Yeah, we got Miami Heretics going up against Seattle. Then we have Toronto Ultra going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Then we got LA Thieves going up against Optic Texas. And then Atlanta FaZe going up against the New York Subliners. So, Jesus,
There's actually good-ass games
These
tomorrow.
are
These are
some
really-
good
these are really good series.
matches,
Really good
man.
games.
This is about to be crazy. Obviously, you had the Atlanta FaZe and New York matchup. That was the grand finals of last event, and that's happening in winners round 2. You have Optic versus LA Thieves, which I think that's cool just because the Nate shot and the Optic and just that kind of clash
is
there.
sneaky for Optic, bro. Those LATS and Ds could get them.
Yeah, for sure. You never know, bro. I mean, we're at COD champs. We've already seen some upsets. I think some of these bottom tier teams are getting better. I think there's a few people who said that these bottom teams aren't trying. Who said that? It was Kenny and somebody else,
Scrap. Like a bunch of people agreed on that. Like a lot of the top teams are like, these guys are not trying.
Yeah, but they're trying now, and they look a lot better. And then you have Miami and Seattle. We'll start with that one. We'll start with the first one. This is a losers round one matchup. Loser will be going home.
That's tough.
I'm going to go with Miami in this one. I just feel like Miami play better COD than Seattle. I think Seattle is very bad a day and just by the players. And if the players want to individually just show up, I feel like right now Seattle just seems like they're all gunny to me. And sometimes it feels like that final product, they're just playing like fundamental COD, is not there. Where Miami, on the other side, like, I feel like Seattle might have more talent in a way, but I think Miami just plays better COD. So I'm going to go Miami 3-2. I can see it being a close match, but I'm going with Miami. Who do you got, Ben?
I got Miami 3-1. I think they're the better search team. And to your point, I think Seattle's just like super inconsistent. I think Miami will get it done.
Alrighty, Chris, who do you got?
I got Miami also.
Miami? Do we all got Miami?
As
Sam,
do I.
You got Miami as well?
I trust the S&Ds in extended series more.
All right, we all got Miami.
Tomorrow's the blown up bowl. Like, we're going to have some interesting things to say about Seattle after that series if they lose. I'll just say that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then, of course, we got Toronto Ultra in losers round one going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. I mean, I don't think any of us saw them being here in losers round one. I don't have LA. There's no way Toronto loses Mac to LAG, right?
I pray they don't.
I mean, there's no way, right?
I want to pick Ultra, but
I'm picking Toronto, but gee, they cost
But
them.
I mean,
they're 0-2 on land the last two series, so do I pick them?
Toronto losing, we'll have a generational flank tomorrow if Toronto lose. Like, I don't know what
If
Pat's going to be able to say here.
I gotta pick Ultra, right? Like I just
Everyone's
out of
picking
principle,
Ultra, bro.
I have to pick Ultra. I'm not in a confident
you
Ultra,
can't,
but I
you
can't not pick
What
them.
do you mean, bro? You can't, in good confidence, say that LAG
Bro,
is going to beat them again.
You see the way that Ultra's playing?
Are you
Playing like
are you
shit.
picking LAG?
No.
All right. We're all picking Toronto?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm probably picking Toronto here. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel like I have to, even if I don't want to.
Yeah, I feel like
Bro,
I feel like Toronto. Like, there's just no way. There's just absolutely they have to turn up tomorrow, and if they don't, that team's blowing it up.
They're getting blown to smithereens tomorrow.
Yeah, agreed.
It's an epic class in the season.
Then we have the Los Angeles Thieves going up against Optic, Texas. Bro, I don't know what to do with this one because obviously going into champs, Optic hasn't looked that great. They come out today, they get a good win against LAG, but that was also LAG, right? So it's like I don't know what to think here. I've heard a lot of good things about LA Thieves behind the scenes. Something about the energy in the room today with Optic and just the crowd and just seeing how hyped up they were. They also just looked confident. I'm gonna go with Optic in this one. I'll probably say 3-2 again. I can see another game 5 here. I'm gonna go 3-2 Optic. Sam, who do you got?
If I pick them, they'll lose. But I want to pick them. I think the crowd is going to be a big part of it because I will say I think LAT had the loudest series outside of Optic today. I think that the LAT fans actually shut out today, so I think that'll be cool to hear. I like the S&Ds for LAT. I think if they play hardpoint the way they did today, I think they win this series. I am going to go LAT 3-2.
I'm going LA Thieves 3-2. Sam.
I'm going to pick them.
What do you think, Chris?
I was going to pick LAT for you because you didn't want to juju them.
I'm going to pick them.
But since you did
Every
pick
time
LAT,
I do, there's got to be the one, right?
I'm going to pick Optic. I just think they're back, dude. I think they played their S&D pretty decently. Shotzi's looking like he's on another level. Granted, he played LAG, but the crowd is just electric. And I feel that's going to do a lot of good for them, especially with the confidence that they've been able to get, playing this first-round match. Regardless of who it is, the fact that they were out there and they were able to feel that energy and just know they can fucking win a search finally, regardless of who it is, it's going to carry them forward. This is going to be a brutal series, though, if LA Thieves continue to play how they've been playing because I've been impressed.
What do you think, Benjay? Who do you got?
I'm going to make this pick and know that I'm going to get completely costed tomorrow when they show up and lay an egg. I'm picking LA Thieves.
Let's go, Ben.
Game 5. But I know I'm going to get fucking costed and they're going to get smoked tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
Is what it is.
And then we got Atlanta FaZe going up against the New York Subliners. Obviously, New York got the better of Atlanta FaZe last time around. I don't see it happening again. I'm going with Atlanta FaZe. The only thing that worries me is FaZe lost the S&D today, and New York's hard points have just been looking really, really good.
They did lose their streak today, though.
They did lose their streak. today. But, I don't know, just watching Hydra and Kismet around the map just seems like they're back on their MW2 bullshit. I'll go Atlanta FaZe. I'm going to support the boys. But what would you do, Benjay? What do you think here?
Got New York Game 5.
New York Game 5.
Yeah, I think FaZe's hardpoint looks super iffy right now. I think they're going to grind this one out. I think they're going to lose a heartbreaker Game 5.
Alrighty. What do you got, Chris?
I think both teams just kind of looked iffy today. Granted, they were playing like some of the stronger competition that qualified from the bottom end of the league. So I honestly don't really know. But I think I'm just going to go with FaZe just because, like, probability-wise, these guys always make it pretty far in tournaments. So we'll go with FaZe for now.
Definitely think anything can happen here. What do you think,
Yeah.
Sam? Who you going with here?
I'm going to go FaZe here for a couple of reasons. One, it's not Sunday, so they're usually good pre-Sunday team. 2 is a revenge series, and obviously I picked FaZe my bracket prior to it. But both teams didn't really convince me to pick either one of them prior to today, or after today, excuse me. I think both of them had their moments where we were a little shaky on. But legitimately, because it's not Sunday, I'm going to pick FaZe.
Alrighty.
Fair enough.
You'd say.
That's
Fair
enough.
enough.
That's fair.
They win the series that aren't on Sunday.
Obviously, you know, we are in venue, guys. We are limited on time, so, you know, short episodes throughout the weekend. We will be back during the week after the tournament. We'll be, you know, doing longer shows.
Should I bring my putter tomorrow and I could just rip a putter? Nah, I can't really do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's up to you. But
I
there's
don't think
space.
let me bring a putter to the venue.
guys, the
I'll
energy
try.
in the arena today, in the venue today, was absolutely insane. I can't wait to get to these matches tomorrow. You know, we got 4 big matches tomorrow. This is going to be a grueler. And these matchups have just been nuts. I mean, there's been so much grinding throughout the whole year that it just all comes down to this one event. Just so much on the line, and it's just been incredible to watch. So thank you so much to everybody who supported the watch party today and who's tuning into the show right now, and everybody who's watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content, and I appreciate you guys as always, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites we're on, and go follow @theflank on Twitter. Gersh doing a phenomenal job running socials. But as always, guys, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time tomorrow on another episode of The Flank, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Later.
W's.
No.